Saturday night, and you are watching the best the weekend has to offer on PHL 17, the Delco Duo. I'm Monica crying.
And I am Jenna Meisner. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we are so happy to have you on the weekend, spending a little bit of your time. Hopefully you did something fun, or you're coming home from something fun that you did.
I think this needs to be the new Saturday night. You go out, and at 11, you call the Uber.
Okay.
Get into the Uber, and by 11:30, you're home. You're on your couch.
I love it.
You're feeling
good.
Washed.
You're feeling good because maybe you had a few drinks out there on Saturday night. Maybe you didn't. Either way, we are happy to have you, as I mentioned. And if this is your first time watching us, welcome. A little bit about what we do, the Delco Duo. So every week, our viewers, they anonymously submit some of the issues they're having, whether it's relationships, at work, with neighbors, really any problem that you want someone else to hear and you want to get some advice on. We will give you advice.
Right, because it all started when, we had some issues. Even myself, I felt like I was, talking with you about some things. And I'm like, just even talking about it makes you feel a little bit better. You know what I mean?
That's if we agree with you. If we don't agree with you.
But I think that's good.
It's another perspective.
If we don't agree, then maybe you realize, like, I'm feeling crazy because maybe I am. So before we get to all the issues, including one of our own, we do the debrief. We are big consumers of social media.
I think everyone nowadays can say they're a big consumer of different types of social medias.
Right. And so obviously, sadly enough, like Facebook and Instagram are becoming old. I can't believe Instagram's for old heads.
I know.
That makes me so sad, Jenna.
It's becoming old. When TikTok joined the scene, it kind of is just dominating the social media space right now. And something that's trending on TikTok, it's been for maybe a couple of months now, but I've seen it more and more, is this Tortilla challenge.
And it's more on Instagram, so that's how I'm seeing it.
It's made its way to Instagram. Once it makes its way to Instagram, to the Reels, that's when you know it's kind of expired on TikTok.
Right. It's not cool on TikTok anymore the second it gets on Instagram. So the second I see it, because that's where I am, I'm on Instagram, I'm realizing this is old, but I still really wanted to try the Tortilla challenge. It looks so funny. And so I was like, Jenna, let's do it.
And of course, I was down to try it.
You were.
So let's show you how it went.
Stuck for me for so many reasons. I got slapped and sprayed. What the heck?
Okay, sorry.
One more.
How are you doing?
Best out of 3.
I'm crying.
We have switched sides. The side of my face is red.
It's just looking over here. Guys, that's it. You lost me.
That game sticks. That's my cheek right there, ladies and gentlemen. Those were some really hearty tortillas too.
They were, and I do have to apologize. My third tortilla slap, that was personal. That had some power to it.
You gotta watch, because at a certain point your whole hand was coming around. It was getting really close to my face. I
should have also warned you that I am weirdly good at rock, paper, scissors. So the tortilla challenge, obviously you saw it. It's rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins gets to hit the other person with the tortilla, and you both have your mouth full of water because you can't spit it out. But I couldn't help myself. It was
You are
so
weirdly good.
funny.
You are weirdly good at rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah,
I think that's
never challenge me.
Yeah, you can read people, so you know what's coming. And you read me like a book, and I lost all 3 times. But this is a really good way to get some pent-up anger for coworkers.
And I asked Monica, I said, did it hurt? And
it stung. There was a sting to it. I'm not going to act like, oh, It stung. My face was red. Yeah. My face was red.
But it was quick. It was like a quick pain, right?
Oh,
I didn't linger throughout the rest of the day.
I shouldn't go into work thinking like, I wonder if I'm going to get slapped today.
With a tortilla. And yes, there were other people in the parking lot that, in our office parking lot who were kind of just
weirded out,
wondering what the heck we were doing.
And that's why we went to college.
And that's why we do this, okay? The Delco Duo, we will do the challenge. So if you have an internet challenge that we can do, email us.
I know I'm not good at
Delco Duo at phl17.com.
Okay, let's get to our first issue now that me and Jenna have some pent up issue. First issue is Selena from Sharon Hill. What is too risque for a first date?
All right, Selena, are we talking clothing? Are we talking activity? Are we talking what?
You took this as clothing.
I took this as clothing, yes.
I took this as activity. I took this as activity. So
see, that's why I love these issues, because when they're so vague like that one, Selena, we can take them in a million different directions.
Let's take them in two directions, clothing and activity. And I love how we say activity. That's our
intimacy.
Yes, intimacy. How intimate can you get on a first date?
Okay.
I think for how intimate can you get on a first date, obviously it's how the date's going. I think it depends on how old you are. Okay? What stage in life are you at? If you're out of college, first date, whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever the date leads to. If you're still in college, kissing. And maybe a little bit further than that. Kissing and a little.
So you're saying if you're a grown adult with a whole life, do what you want.
Yeah.
If you're a student or younger, kissing.
Kissing and maybe some nice touching.
Cuddles.
Okay. Cuddles.
Okay, I think clothing-wise, that's where I'm saying, like, I think it depends on what your activity is you're doing. Are you going to dinner? Are you going to drinks? Are you going bowling? Are you going to the movies? But I think you should dress. It's always better to be overdressed than underdressed. I think you should dress for the nines. I think you should try to look your cutest. And if you want to show a little bit of arm, a little bit of leg, nothing's wrong with that.
I think overdressing, though, you look then like you're trying too hard.
I don't mean like an evening gown. I mean, don't look like a slob.
Yes, no, never look like a slob. But I'm thinking like slip dresses. You know those slip dresses that are really in right now?
Okay.
It's too dressed up for a first date. Like if your first date is out for drinks, cute pair of jeans, one of those nice little slip sandals, and the shirts that are a little bit lower cut for the girls. That's it.
Pick your best asset, men and women, and highlight it.
Oh, I love that.
Pick your best asset and highlight it for the first date.
One of your best assets can be like your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do up the eyes. Do a lot of makeup.
Well, I don't know about that. You don't do too much makeup. You don't want to scare someone off and then think about, okay, like what do they look like without any of this makeup on,
But yes, so clothing, Jenna's saying do it up. Intimacy depends on the age.
Okay. All right, well, coming up, somebody wants our advice on avoiding their crush in shopping centers. Are you confused? Well, we are too. We're going to talk about it after the break.
Okay. And thanks so much for sticking with us with the Delco Duo, a whole half hour of solving your problems. And we've got to move on to the second one.
All right, we're moving on to the second one. This one is an interesting topic.
Yes.
So this is Chris from Chichester. What's the best way to avoid my crush from shopping centers on weekends?
Why are you trying to avoid your crush? My whole goal when I was younger was to bump into my crush as much as I could.
So stalker vibes. Trying to find out.
Cool. I mean, I played it
Trying to find
really
out
cool.
where they are and spend as much time with them as possible.
Or not even spend time with them, but just like be with my friends and show how cool I was. You know what I mean? Oh, look, I'm just with my girlfriends. Sorry for the bumping.
Maybe Chris is really shy and he gets awkward around his crush, and it's just not a good situation, and he kind of wants it to be a secret crush.
Okay, if you want it to be a secret crush, which sounds miserable because that's a hidden life and nobody likes secret crushes, go about avoiding them. But if you want your crush to eventually evolve into something else, which I think is
You got to put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there, or just make yourself be known. If you're constantly hiding,
I don't think
the
you
person's
want.
not even going to realize who you are.
I think this is a 2-part issue. So first you need to evaluate, do you actually have a crush on this person if you don't want to run into them?
Right.
So first decide if, this is a true crush that you want to pursue, because then you don't want to avoid the person, as Monica just said. Secondly, shopping centers. So Chris kind of went into a further explanation. He said along Baltimore Pike. So if you live in Delaware County, this is so Delco. Shopping centers on Baltimore Pike. So
specifically on Baltimore Pike, which, those can get really crowded. So I'm sure it's super easy.
I don't know, though, if this is like daily errands, like running into your crush while you're grocery shopping or you're filling up your gas or something, going to the pizza shop, or if this is something more where kids hang out at shopping centers, because I grew up hanging out at shopping centers.
Yes. You and I both hung out at
it was something to do.
We would hang out at the same shopping center, but at different times.
In our lives, yes.
So I was a little bit earlier, but we would actually hang out. I would say the best shopping centers for me and my friends, Lawrence Park Shopping Center.
Okay. I'd agree.
Lawrence Park, not Marple Crossroads. That's the one with the Walmart, Marshall.
Right off of Route 1.
Yeah, we didn't hang out
That one's
there.
a little bit harder to get to because you're off of a bigger road.
Yes.
So we're talking smaller roads, like off of Westchester Pike. I hung out at Edgemont.
Baltimore Pike.
All the pikes. So I hung out at the Edgemont Shopping Center when I was younger, and we would go as groups. Like, so my friends, my girl group would meet a guy group, and I believe we have some pictures that we could show you from the time that we would hang out in the Edgemont Shopping Center. So this is Kevin. He worked at Gennardi's. It is now a Giant, if you are familiar with the shopping center. But there's me and my friends. Like, we knew the people that worked at the Gennardi's. There's Cold Stone. Look at me. I am such an annoying kid. I'm in the middle there. All these photos, the staples in the back, all of these photos are so blurry because it is just incredible to see the quality of how things have evolved since the time that I was hanging out in shopping centers. But yes, we would meet in the shopping centers and we would hang out at Cold Stone. There was a nice patio out front.
There was.
And if you were interested in one of the fellas that was with the guy group, like that was your time to hang out.
Yes. So I was really cool when I would go to Edgemont. My boyfriend at the time would come pick me up. He had his own car.
And no, you're too old to be hanging out at Edgemont. If someone could be driving. Like I think we were probably 13 in those photos.
Wait, you would go when you were in grade school?
I was a freshman in high school, so I would have been 13.
I was
like
a junior.
Fresh.
I was a junior in high school when I was going to Edgemont.
That's too old.
No, it's not.
To hang out at shopping centers.
No, it's not.
Oh my gosh, this changes everything. Everything.
I was going junior year, and we would go. He would pick me up. We would go and get ice cream. Some of his friends would be there. We'd hang out in the parking lot.
And the people who worked in the shopping center, I don't think they enjoyed the kids' presence.
But I think really what we're trying to tell you, Chris, from Chichester, is these shopping centers offer an opportunity for you to get
progress,
to know your crush.
To go to the next level with your crush and maybe go on a first date. Or maybe just talk to them. Chris, why are you hiding from your crush?
Don't hide from your crush. The point is put yourself out there in front of your crush. Let them know you're crushing on them. And then you can go behind the Cold Stone later in the night and get to the first date.
We are not recommending that. But that's why when we first got this issue, I thought hanging out in shopping centers, and then I just remembered all of those photos, and I said, Chris, I totally get it. I totally understand.
I get super cringy because when I later in life talk to my dad, I'm like, I can't believe how much I hung out at those shopping centers. Like, I'm so embarrassed. He's like, yeah, I can't believe how much time I had to spend there too. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, oh yeah, once that guy picked you up, I'd follow you guys. He used to have his car in the shopping center and he would just watch us and make sure we were behaving.
It's the perfect hangout from a parent's perspective. You can blend.
Sure.
You can blend in so
my dad
easily.
did.
In any of the cars and not even realize that your parent is monitoring this hangout.
I don't even want to know.
But to get to Chris's question, if you want to avoid your crush at the shopping centers on Baltimore Pike, don't go to the shopping centers on Baltimore Pike.
Yeah, or it's really crowded, so you're fine.
Yeah.
They're also crowded.
Or make it quick errand, in and out.
Yeah, in and out. Okie dokie. Up next, we've talked about your 2 topics. Now we got one of our own. We'll talk about who's dealing with the problem this week. Stay with us.
And welcome back. You are watching the Delco Duo, and we've reached the part of the show where we start to discuss our own problems. So we've already had 2 viewers. Thank you for your submissions. But now let's see who has an issue this week.
Either Jenna or Monica.
What's Monica crying about?
It's my turn.
What are you crying about, Monica?
Let me rustle up a problem. Oh, wait, no problem. This week, my issue has been packing lunches. So we have been trying to be better, Eugene and I, about packing our lunches. And I take breakfast and lunch with me to work. And I have been in charge of packing Eugene's lunch because, you know, if I'm making my own lunch, I'll make his lunch.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Back it up. So when your lunch is here normally are your leftovers from the night before.
I'll split them up. I'll divvy them
So
up.
you're not making, you're repackaging the leftovers.
I am.
You're making
I
the
am
dinner.
taking what's left on the plates and I divvy it up.
Okay.
Oh, no. I'm not
You're not making the sandwiches like your
No.
kids going to school. You're packing your leftovers into containers.
Every night we have leftovers. I divvy them up and I put them into 2 separate containers.
Okay.
One for me, one for Eugene. And I tell him every night. I say, "Oh, here's your packed lunch. Don't forget to take that with you." He forgets it every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Mm-hmm. And I'm so sick of it because then all of a sudden I call him and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm at Wawa." Well, why are you at Wawa? I packed. And I'm sorry, love you, Wawa, but you can't. I'm doing this. I'm going day in and day out to work with my packed lunch. I would love to go to Wawa and get Wawa every single day, but we're trying to save a buck here and there. We go to Wawa plenty.
So then what happens to the food? Do you then take it the next day or
No, I'll
does it go
usually.
bad?
No.
you eat things that are like months expired?
Months expired.
So
And
That's a
look at me,
silly
I'm doing
question.
great. I'm doing great. No, I'll usually eat it like later. You know, I'll have it twice in the day instead of making myself something
so
else.
when you come home
Yeah, when I come home.
for lunch number 2.
Because I do. I have 2
lunch
lunches.
1, lunch 2.
Lunch 1, lunch 2. And then I have like a small dinner. I swear, it's a small dinner. And that's why we have so many leftovers because I do a really, really small dinner. And then we have a lot of leftovers.
So do you think he just doesn't like leftovers?
Yeah, I think he doesn't like
And
leftovers,
he just
but he doesn't
forgets
like,
it?
But he doesn't like sandwiches. He doesn't like anything I pack for him.
So what is he getting when he goes to the store?
I think my biggest issue is I know he subconsciously is forgetting his lunch
But he's not mad about it.
so that he can go to Wawa. Or he
And what is he getting when he goes there? Like a hoagie or
No, he says he's good. He's like, "Oh, I get chicken tenders." That's what he says.
chicken? Is he 5?
He gets chicken tenders.
I only know toddlers who get chicken tenders at the Wawa.
Eugene and I are not beacons of health. Like I would never say we are. And so he thinks chicken tenders is healthy.
You know what?
It's chicken.
You do you. I don't think this is a isolated problem like for you. I know that sometimes Tate takes leftovers all the time and he'll forget them as well. Yeah. But it's to the point where he will still eat them. Like they don't go to waste. But I think you need to maybe start leaving him notes. I know you're already putting it into the container, but I think you got to take it a step further and just say, "Love you. Don't forget your lunch."
Where do I put this note? And you know what we're excited for?
Where's his keys?
Oh, in our drawer.
Put it in the drawer then next to his
Put it
keys.
right on his keys.
That's passive aggressively
Oh.
saying to take the lunch.
Don't forget your lunch.
Don't forget your lunch. Love you.
That's a good. I'm gonna put that on his keys.
It could be a post-it. It could be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a love letter. Just.
I should get a keychain that just says "Don't forget your lunch," just so every time he gets his keys, he just remembers.
I'm sure
Lunch,
they make
lunch.
those. That might be a good idea.
I'm packaging up some good stuff. He can't really argue. I gave him pot the other day. I packaged up pot stickers, dumplings.
Okay.
How can you?
Did you make this?
No. I
I was gonna say I didn't know that you had culinary talents like that.
No. That was from Chinese food that we had ordered the
Okay.
night before. You know.
So you're already ordering sometimes at night. He can't be going out during the day too.
Right.
I did it
exactly.
for Lent, like around the Easter season. For Lent, he gave up going. he gave up getting lunch and it was more,
Yes,
did that work?
That was totally about the fact that I was really pressuring him to please bring your lunch. Please bring your lunch. But
And did it work for that season?
Yeah, for the Lenten season. But that
he didn't want to go to the bad place.
That was that Catholic guilt building up behind him. So now that we're out of the Lenten season, there's no Catholic guilt to back me up here.
That's what I think you got to do. I think you got to leave the note. I think you got to, I mean, if you want to take it a step further and get the keychain, but that's all going to depend on how he places his keys. He might not even see it some mornings. But I also think you need to give him some grace. When you're rushing out the door in the morning, and I know he gets the kids because obviously you're here in the middle of the night for work, for the weather. So you got to give him a little bit of grace because I'm sure it's really hectic when he's leaving.
So I think that's the thing that we always talk about, and one of the, novelties of marriage is choosing your battles. And this is a battle that I will not be choosing.
Just on television.
Just on TV. I need to vent about it.
On TV. Well, I'd be choosing this
anybody
battle
who chooses to tune in.
He cannot battle me back or defend himself. I'm just telling it to all of you.
This is me getting angry about it, but realizing we have bigger fish to fry. I just need to tell you.
All right, Monica. Well, coming up next, we have some Delco trivia for you before we head to break. This is a fun one.
Ooh, what famous band originated in Chester?
All right, think about it. Think about it hard.
I'm thinking. All right, have you given it some thought? What famous band originated in Chester? Bill Haley and the Comets. Okay, they had, that doesn't...
I think it rings a bell for lots of people.
Rock Around the Clock. Definitely will
Iconic.
ring a bell. Yeah.
Iconic. So
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
we were talking about the era of the 1950s.
Well, because when you put this question out to me and you said Chester, I was thinking it's got to be like a doo-wop kind of band, just because my grandparents grew up in Chester and lived there.
In the 50s.
In the 50s and the 60s. And then I think they moved to Ridley in the 70s. And so...
Your grandfather could have been a part of this.
They could have been neighbors. And I remember they loved Chester. And they said it was the happening place.
It was a spot to be. And if you're watching and you're thinking, okay, I had no idea. I didn't know that. He was actually born in Michigan. So Michigan native. So that might be why you did not know that. But later in life, he moved to Boothwyn and into Chester. And then actually at his time in Chester, he was a disc jockey. So he worked on the radio for a local radio station. And then that's when he went on the road with his guitar and... He changed the rock and roll scene.
He definitely knew my grandmom. She was such a no. She told me all the time she was such a good dancer. She knew all the DJs. And that's how her and my pop-up really met, where it's like at those dances. So,
well, that is such a fun fact. I love it. So cool. As always, again, thank you for submitting your issues. Monica, if people, they want to submit them, where do they do that?
Yeah, we've gotten a good amount of submissions at Delco Duo at phl17.com. I don't even read, when I go into your email, I don't even read your actual email address.
Just the issue.
I just read the issue. So, your gender, your location.
Everything has changed. Of course, it's a Delaware County.
Unless you don't want to be.
Yeah, you can say I don't want to be anonymous,
and then we'll have fun with that.
And then we'll look you up on Facebook. We'll find out about your life. But
Jenna will send you a care package.
Everything is completely made up in the names in the Delaware County towns.
And you can also Instagram, tweet, and Facebook DM us.
Yes. All right.
Forward to it.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.